Welcome back to Simrite Fashion Academy YouTube channel for another interesting tutorial. In this tutorial, I'm going to teach you in details how to sew this skirt with this GODGET ruffles. Okay, it's actually a GODGET, but it has layers of ruffles to it. As you can see right there, you can attach it to your skirt, you can attach it to your gown. But in this class, the main purpose of this tutorial is to show you how to sew the ruffle GODGET, as you are seeing right there on the thumbnail and on the video. So if this is what you want to learn in this class, I will encourage you to stay till the end of this tutorial to learn more on how to sew this beautiful skirt with ruffles. It's actually trending, and if you follow the tips and tricks, or if you follow the techniques I'm going to show you in this tutorial, you'll be able to make these beautiful GODGET ruffles and use it for your skirt or for your gown, for any occasion of your choice and all that. So please don't forget to subscribe to this channel, like this video, share to family and friends as well. So thank you very much for joining Simrite Fashion Academy YouTube channel, and stay tuned to the end of this tutorial. Thank you. So to begin this tutorial, I'm going to use 3.5 yards of lace, 3.5 yards of doll face as interface, and 3.5 yards for my lining. So now I'm going to use 3 inches crinoline all around the skirt full length. But I'm going to just draft a little skirt pattern front and back to show you what I did on my men's skirt. So here is the waistline, and I'm going to take my vertical measurements of the hip line, the knee line, and the full length. So the full length I'm working with is actually 60 inches. So I'm going to rule my lines across right now. As you can see, that is the knee line. And I'm going to take the measurement of the front piece at 60 inches. But I'm going to add 8 inches to it so it flows very well for me. So now at the back, I'm going to add 10 inches to my full length, making it 70 inches, so I have a longer train. So here is my center front. So I'm going to take the measurement of my waist circumference divided by 4, and I'm going to mark. There is no dart intake. I'm taking my hip measurement divided by 4 as well. The 2 lines I have there is the upper hip and the lower hip. So I'll come in with my pattern ruler, and I'm going to connect this, as you can see. Then whatever I have on my hip circumference divided by 4, I'll take away 2 inches for my knee length. And then I'm going to extend my hem line by 8 inches and connect. I'll go up by 1.5 inches and blend up my line. The normal skirt pattern, you know. So, but for this particular skirt, is actually a 6-piece skirt for the front alone. So I'm using my nipple to nipple measurement to create that 6 pieces. You can see my panels 1 and 2. Although I'll not go in details with these 6 pieces. Of course, you know how to go about your 6 pieces skirt. So the main purpose of this tutorial is the back, where we have the GODGET. So for the back pattern right now, I'm just imputing all the measurements I have in front into the back pattern. And coming over to the back pattern, I'm going to share the 2 inches I went in by the knee. I'm going to share it on both sides, both the sides and the center front. So I'm going to come in with my back contour line on the waistline and come in by 1 inch on the center back. Of course, you know how to sew your normal skirts, to draft your normal skirt pattern for the back. So once I get to the back contour line where I have the zipper now, I will take the line at 1 inch straight. Then come in by 5 inches from that line and slant your line for your GODGET attachment. Then since it has a strain, I'll just connect it back to the line that matches up with the front. So that is how I'm going to make this pattern on my men's dress right now. So I'm going to cut out the pattern, as you can see right here. I'm cutting it out actually. So cutting the sides of the back skirt pattern. the waistline, the boot line. And now this is where I'm going to attach the godget right now. So at that point, I'm going to make a mark and also create a notch. So I am going to make a notch on that part. That is where the godget is going to be placed. So right now I'm going to cut my main fabric. So this is the front piece, the center front for the 6 pieces skirt. So I'm done cutting and adding my seam allowances. So I'm going to place my lace right on top of the front panel piece. So you can see the front panel piece right. I'm taking away my patterns and I'll use my adhesive. So you can use any adhesive of your choice. You can even sew the lace on top of the interfacing. It's all your choice, but I love to use my adhesive at the edges, as you can see me do. So coming over to the back, of course, you know we are going to attach a godget, and I've already made my notch on the godget we are going to attach. So I'm going to lay my lace on it, but before I do that, I want to show you how to attach the godget. So I'll first measure from that notch, because that is where we are going to attach the godget. I'll measure to the end of it. I have 38.5, so which is more than 1 yard. So I'll just get my 1 yard right now of fabric. So I'm using this fabric, another color of fabric, because I don't have enough of that. So what I have here, from here to here, is 1.5 yards. So I'll pick it on the yardage part and I'll lay it diagonally like this. So make sure you lay it very well, because that is how we are going to sew the ruffles for our godget. So once I'm done with this, I'm going to take the measurement. We got 38.5. I'll go ahead and add 3 inches. If I have excess, I would like to cut it out than to have a shortage. So adding 3 inches to my 38 means, you see where I'm taking the measurement. So it means once I get 38.5, which I measured, you can see it there. Once I get 38.5, I'm going to add 1, 2, 3, which is 41.5. So I'm going to measure the way we cut our flare. So I'm taking this at 41.5. So if I attach the godget and I have excess on my godget, I'm going to cut it out. So I'll just go ahead and cut out. So I'm going to place what I have right here on my lining. So I'm going to cut same. I'm using lining to cut this. So this is the godget, and that is what we are going to attach, as you may see. So this part is the parts I'm going to attach to the sides after we are done sewing our ruffles. So I will set it aside till we get to the marking of the ruffles, because we are going to mark our ruffles like that for the godget. So I will set it aside now, then go back to the back skirt. So coming back to the back skirt, I'll just lay my lace, then I will stitch, leave my zipper allowance from here to here and stitch up to this point. I will leave this part for my godget. Let me do that. Alright, so I'm done joining the back pattern, and here is my zipper. So I've sewn my zip to the basket and I left this part for the godet. So we are going to sew the godet, but I want to first couple the skirt before I sew my godet, because it's actually an attachment. So I want to couple the whole skirt before the godet. So this is my 6 pieces which I've joined the lines. So the next thing I'll do is to put them together, fabric to fabric. I'll also do the same for lining. So I'll just go ahead and take my measurements accordingly. Then for the back, this is what the back looks like. So I left the zipper part for the back lining open, and I left the godet part open as well. So I'll also go ahead and take my shaping. I'm going to shaping the skirt right now. So I'll shaping, give it a good press, then I'll bring it back to show you how to sew the crinoline. We are actually sewing crinoline to this. I'm done sewing the skirt and I've given it a good press. So this is the front where we have the 6 pieces, and this is the back where we are going to have the godet. So you can see I have my zipper for the back and I still left the godet. So I repeated the same thing for my lining as well. So here I have my lining ironed and we still have the godet. So now I'm going to turn this to the right. I need to the left, sorry. So we'll turn it to the left. So once you turn your lining to the left, in this same position, this will be on the right. Then you pick up this, open it up, the lining up from the waistline, and insert the right side. So we are going to sew our crinoline right now. So I'll open up this zip right away and I'm going to match it up this way. So I'll secure with my pin. So I'll secure with my pin first, just to hold it down. Okay, but we are going to sew crinoline before we sew the zipper. So I'll just hold it down. All right, so now when you come to the down parts, you open up the right side of the godet part. So that means your lining, your fabric, everything needs to be equal for you to achieve this. So you have to also make sure they are equal after pinning your lining. So here you can see mine is very equal. So I'll go ahead now to sew my crinoline. So before I sew my crinoline, I have to match up. So I'll secure with my pin all around, seam line to seam line, then place my crinoline. So I've sewn the crinoline. So you can see I placed seam line to seam line and I secured with my pin. So all the seam lines I secured with pins. So I placed my crinoline, 3 inches crinoline, right on top of the lining. So I did that to the end of the skirt. So the next thing I'll do now is to flip everything. Now I'm going to top stitch. You can see how I flipped everything to the part of the lining. And here I'm going to run my stitches very closely to hold it down like this. Can you see? So I will do that now. After top stitching the crinoline, you can see I top stitched it. Like I said, everything goes to the side of the lining, so it makes it lie down very well for you. So I'm going to hold this with my pin right now, and I'll go to the machine and stitch following the edges of the crinoline. So as I'm sewing, I'll be feeling the edges of the crinoline. So let me do that. This is what you are expected to have after stitching the second time. So it relaxes nice and flat inside the casing. So the next thing we'll do, we'll go back to the zipper where we just... So after sewing the crinoline, the next thing is to arrange it normally as we arrange our skirts. Okay, I just want to share this secret to you. Before you sew the lining, you pin the lining, it has to be in the normal position. You can see I've not attached the lining. So the lining is supposed to lay like this. So I'm going to open it up from here. I'll open it up from here and secure with my pin. So that's the right way to do it, or else it will tangle. So I'll just secure it now with my pin. I'll secure it across because I'm going to stitch right on top of the pin. Then for these two, I'll repeat the same thing, fold it in at the 1 inch and go through it through here. That's the only way you can sew this and have a perfect. So I'll go over to my machine now, and I'm going to pin and use my zipper foot to stitch. I'm sewing my zipper, as you can see right here. Okay, so the next I'll do is to match up seam lines for lining and seam line for fabric. So I'm going to run a stitch to hold them all around. So this is what the shape of your godet is going to look like. So you can actually see that it's looking like a triangle, which is the shape we folded for it. Alright, so this is what my godet looks like. As you can see it right here. So we are going to mark out the godet. This is the main fabric and this is the lining. So I don't have enough fabric, that's why I'm using this color of fabric. So from here is the starting point. So I'm going to mark the first point at 3.5. So we'll have the first at 3.5, another at 3.5. So I just keep marking 3.5. So you are going to mark the 3.5 to the end. So that is where we are going to sew the ruffles. Alright, so I'm going to rule my line across. So I'm going to rule the line across like this for the goddess sewing. For the ruffles on the goddess. Okay. So of course while sewing this, it will be curvy you know, this is we are working with a flea. So I'll take off this as the lining, and I'll continue the marking right here. So I'll just go ahead and so when you open it, it means we are going to sew the first ruffle here, then the second ruffle here, the third ruffle here. So I'll be taking it like that, like this, till I get to the end of it. So after marking the lines, so here you can see I have on my GODGET 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 lines marked at 3.5-inch interval. So I've already cut out my tool for the sewing of the GODGET. So the width of my tool here, tool net, is 6 inches in length. So I have to fold about 6 yards at once and cut them at interval of 6 inches. So I have a big roll of it right now at 6 inches. So I'm just going to pick up 2 pieces of this tool like this, at equal, at big length, and I'm going to start from the down part to sew. So wherever I have my lines, I'm going to sew the ruffles. So I just open it up and sew 2. It's actually very long because this is 6 yards at a go. So I'm going to sew the ruffles like this. So you can also gather and sew. So here you can see I've sewn the multiple layers. I was just following the lines I marked on the GODGET. Okay, so I've sewn as much layers and I started from the last layer. Please start from the last layer or else it will be difficult for you to sew. So the hem layer, I started from down coming up, as you can see. So I'm going to complete the rest of it right now and attach it to the skirt directly. So I'm done with the ruffles right now and I've already attached it to the dress. Okay, so I have to turn it with my lining and I also turned with crinoline. So I attach it directly to the skirt. As you can see, I just attached it from the GODGET part. From this point, from this GODGET point, I placed my notch. I stitched to the end and stitched to the end after turning crinoline with my lining. Okay, and that is how to go about the sewing of this GODGET. So thank you very much for coming to this tutorial once again, and I believe this class was helpful to you. So if you are new to this channel, please kindly subscribe, turn on your notification bell to receive videos like this every day. Like this video, share to family and friends, drop your comment on the comment section and your suggestions as well. Thank you once again. See you in the next class. Bye.